Alright, welcome to the video for your homework help for Chapter 1, Section 1 of Algebra 2. On the screen you can see your homework assignment, so double check and make sure that it's written out properly. And here are the problems that I'm going to run through with you. So there's one from each section, so if there's any major questions, these should help you get them figured out. Alright, number 11. The directions say that they want you to identify the property being used. So this is a really common problem that students have a hard time with, because you see parentheses, so your brain's thinking, oh my gosh, commutative, because it has parentheses. But remember, we have to check and see whether the pieces inside the parentheses here and here are actually changing. That's what determines if it's associative or commutative. So let's take a look. What do you see? Did we change what was inside the parentheses, or did that stay the same? Alright, so you can tell that what's changed is the piece inside the parentheses, which makes this the associative associative property. And we can't just leave it there. We have to identify whether we're doing addition or multiplication. So you can tell that we are doing addition, so this is going to be the associative property of addition. And just like that, you're done. So there's problem number 11. So make sure you've got it. Moving on. Number 21. Number 21 says, using properties, solve the problem, and then justify your steps. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the left side here, and we want it to look like the right side. Now we know to start on the left because there's parentheses. Okay, whenever they ask you to solve a problem, you always start with the harder side. Now you should know from Algebra 1 that if we have something with an A, it can only group with something that has an A as well. So we only have one other piece on the left-hand side that has an A, and that is right here. So we have to put these two things together. So we're going to have to use our properties to change what's inside the parentheses. So we're going to rewrite this like this. And we only work with one side at a time. So you noticed I did work on the left, but the right side is unchanged. Now we have to explain how we were able to do what we did. So what property did I use that says if you have stuff in parentheses and stuff outside, you can change the order inside the parentheses? Well, that property is once again our good friend, the associative property of addition. So for those of you who said it, congratulations, you were spot on. Now we have to finish off. So what do we have to do to make the left side look like the right? And that's actually do our combination. So what is 7A plus 5 more A's? That'll give you 12 total A's. And we don't have anything to group with the 4, so it just comes along. And if you notice, we have the same thing on the left as we have on the right, and that's what we're trying to get to. But again, we have to justify our steps. So what did I do? I added 7A and 5A to get 12A. So we're going to put down the definition of addition. And that is what they're looking for these. So you're going to be given a problem to start with. You have to work through the problem and make the left side look like the right side, or the right side look like the left side. And you have to use your properties from page 3. So every time you write a step, you have to justify what you're doing. Every single thing has to have a justification. We do not do things frivolously just for the heck of it. They have to be justifiable. Okay, so there's 21 in that problem set. Those are going to be difficult, but if you have questions, make sure you bring them into class, okay? Problem number 25 says you work 10 hours and earn $85. What is your earning rate? Well, a rate means division. So this right here tells us, so we're going to be dividing something. When you get a job, what is your pay rate? You always say the amount that you make over hours worked. So time pretty much is always on the bottom. So all we do here is put in our money earned over our hours worked. And then we just want to simplify it now. So that means that we're getting paid $8.50 per hour. And if you notice, I drew the division line when I said per, because that's what this actually means. So per equals a rate, which equals division. So whether it's kilometers per hour, volume per hour, whatever, the division bar always equals per. Okay, last one. And this one's tricky for one very simple reason. Okay, it says convert 7 quarts to gallons. Now, some of you are going to know right off the top of what's going on as to how many quarts are in a gallon, which is awesome. I don't. I do not have this memorized. But fortunately, your book helps out. If you read under example 6, it says, for help with converting units, see the table of measurements on page 1025. So, take your book and turn to page 1025. Okay, on page 1025, we're going to look at liquids. How come? Because gallons is a liquid measurement. And then go down to liquid capacity. You can see right there, it says 4 quarts equals 1 gallon. That is what we want. So, the units have to match from top to bottom. So if we have quarts here, we have to put quarts here. So our conversion says that we have 4 quarts to equal 1 gallon. And the reason why we want units to match from top to bottom is so that they actually cancel out. They're objects, so we can cancel them out just like normal. So you know anything divided by itself cancels to be 1. So the quarts here are going to cancel out. And now all we do is multiply across the top and multiply across the bottom. So 7 times 1 gallon is 7 gallons. 1 from here times 4 is 4. And 7 over 4 divides into 1.75, and then you keep your units, gallons. But if you notice, they wanted just 1 unit here, so we had to cancel away the quarts, so that way we got the 1 unit that we wanted to get out. And that's how you're going to set up for all of your conversions. So all of the numbers that you need are in the back on page 1025, and then you just have to make sure that you're setting it up properly on where the units cancel from top to bottom. And that's it. That's every type of problem that you're going to see on your homework. So if you have other questions, make sure you have them marked and bring them back to class.